Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, to be precise. My name is Nemeko Aberere. I want to ask this question, this very pertinent question. Why do we in this side of the world, especially in Africa, we love to recriminate, we so much love to blame everybody for our own woes, we hate to take our destinies into our own hands and stand up consistently, look into the mirror and do what is right always. We blame everybody but ourselves. I was just having an interaction with some people on a Twitter interaction, and they were trying to gaslight the leaders of the West for trying to put in place programs and policies that will limit migration of Africans to Europe and to America. And I asked this question. What is the question? Why do we want to run away from our own land to other people's land and now want to dictate for them how they will make policies and policies that they will make, how it will favor us and not favor us? The question remains. Bible talks about Eden. Eden is in Africa. And anybody who is actually very, very observant, who understands the scriptures, we know that Eden is actually in Nigeria. There is no part of the world that is as blessed as those that live within the geographical space called Nigeria. We have the right amount of sunshine, we have the right amount of rainfall, we have the right amount of arable, large size of arable landmass, we have the human population, we have the strength, we have the energy, everything. We have water tributaries, we have coastal waters of almost about 800 kilometers, everything. We have natural endowment, we have gold, we have lead, we have coal. Think of everything that nature endowed man with. Naturally, we have it here. Nigeria is the only place in the whole wide world where the palm tree grows in the wild. Nigeria is the only place in the whole wide world where the date fruits, the date palm trees. When the Bible talked about land flowing with milk and honey, we're talking about land that produces date fruits. The date fruit is the honey. Nigeria is the only place in the whole wide world where nature endowed us to be able to do the date fruits and to not sit in the wild. The date fruit is one fruit that is very, very good for to checkmate desert encroachment, provide oasis for agro-pastoral initiative. The land mass in the north is 64 million hectares. If every of the electoral ward in the north decide to do 1,000 hectares of date palm plantation, even 500, if we have 1 million hectares of date palm plantation, in fact 2.5 million hectares of date palm plantations, that is really $27 billion annual income over the next 70 years. But the problem is that we abandoned, we totally, individually and collectively turned the Eden God handed over to us into den of robbers, den of looters, den of bandits, den of terrorists, den of unknown government, den of kidnappers, den of religious bandits, den of people who just love to do what is not right. It comes naturally as if it's in our DNA. And then we will turn and blame everybody for the whole wars. We'll talk about reparation. Oh, how the West came and they took our natural resources, they enslaved us. Are we the only ones that was colonized by the West? Are we the only people that were colonized? And by the way, these guys came. They didn't come in large numbers. They came with both, maybe numbers of 6, 10, 20, exploratory. Did they force our people to sell our people to them? There can be no buyer without a seller. If our fathers were as smart as their own fathers, if our great grandfathers, our ancestors were as smart as their ancestors, they wouldn't have accepted schnapps, tobacco, and mirror to sell their sons and children. We are not the only. Indians were colonized. The Singaporeans were colonized. The Hong Kong people were colonized. Even China at a time was colonized by Japan. Today, look at United Arab Emirates. Look at Singapore. Look at India. Look at what they are doing. Look at United Arab Emirates. Oh, as desert. As at 1970 was it was a scorpion and reptile infested desert. See what they turned. They turned the desert into paradise. And every time we will loot what God has given to us here, and we will go to those places to go and buy property. How many Europeans and Americans and the United Arab Emirates citizens have properties anywhere in Nigeria? We do all these things, and yet we have the shameless effrontery. Oh, Trump said he wants to ban immigration. We don't like Trump. Is he your country? Of course, you will claim he's an immigrant. Maybe he came from Germany. Have you ever heard or read? Have you ever gone to any social media platform, Twitter? You see Singaporeans ranting that there's an immigration policy in America that is disturbing them. Have you ever seen the Singaporeans? As of 1970, the GDP of Singapore was $9.23 billion. The GDP of Nigeria was $12.23 billion. If Nigeria had maintained the same growth trajectory, our GDP would have been at about $2.7 trillion. Today, our GDP is $52 billion. The Singapore, South Korea, just 52 million people, $1.63 trillion. They are very productive. Rather than sit down, see, we like recreate, we blame everybody but us. Oh, Mahmoud rigged the election. Mahmoud denied us our mandate. And I want us to remember this. Yes, Mahmoud went out. Mahmoud did the obvious criminality. What Mahmoud did was a totally unacceptable underhand game. They do know that Mahmoud alone did not do what we all accuse him of doing alone. We have 176,824 thereabout electoral polling booths. We have 8,809 ward collation centers. We have 774 local government collation centers. We have 36 state collation centers and Abuja. If those people that collated the results at the ward level did not agree, even if IRF was not transmitted, yes, IRF, they sabotaged IRF. If those ward collation officers did not collect money and bribe to TPS and doctor results, I submit to those local government people. If the local government people did not collect bribe to TPS and doctor results, and submit to the state level where we have professors and VCs, if those ones did not TPS and doctor results and then hand over to Mahmoud will not announce what he announced. It's the same thing across all the tiers and arms of government. Look at Imo State, where I come from. Election was held November 11th. Even areas where no election was held, results were manipulated and manufactured. 99% of those people that did that in Andigo. But tomorrow we'll say, the Fulani, they don't want us to grow. The Kabas, they don't want us to grow. They are doing this to us. They hate us. The truth is, if those people who manipulated the result have refused the whip of the dollar and naira and stood for what is right, would anybody kill them? It took 4 young men, Shadrach, Meshach, Daniel, and Abednego. Every other person. Babylon conquered Israel and took everybody to captivity. They took professors, they took clergy, they took bishops, they took scribes, they took elderly, they took mothers, they took over 600,000 people, billionaires and millionaires. But they took only 4 young men. Every other person. When Nebuchadnezzar packaged his golden image, everybody just quickly lay flat on the floor. Those 4 boys said they will not. Even at the risk of their life, they were tied up to be thrown into the furnace, and they were actually thrown into the forest. They called him by his name, Nebuchadnezzar. Listen to me. Yes, you have the power to destroy our flesh. We will not bow before your golden image. Even if our God is able to save us, we would have died and to compromise. And they were thrown into the furnace. It was not their prayers that saved them. It was their character. God saw their faith through the actions of their character, and God sent the 4th man who delivered them. When Nebuchadnezzar saw clearly, by their actions, by their character, that the 4th man entered with them, Nebuchadnezzar bowed and gave an order that every other person must worship their God. They established their God as the supreme God through their character, through their standing for principles at all times. Daniel was tested And they found him to be excellent, to be diligent, to be committed, and to be, in no way, they found him faultless. We claim, all of us, we Sunday will run to church. Oh, we clap, we pray. But one small test of character, you will collect bribe, your doctor results. And after doctoring results and collecting dollars and putting in your pockets, you will now come out and be shouting bad governance, bad governance. Those people that are doing bad governance, did they come from the moon? They are part of us. All of us are collectively guilty. If 75% of us are righteous and upright, there's no way we will have bandits all over the land governing us and ruining our lives. Let's face the fact and stop these monkey games of always blaming everybody but ourselves. And if all of us should look into the mirror and tell ourselves the truth, if all of us stand for what is right, nobody wants to talk. Oh, they will kill us. Oh, they will. And so, how long? See, you can only destroy the flesh. You cannot destroy my spirit. You can't destroy my soul. Life is bigger than what you can eat and what you can put into your pocket. May God have mercy on us. The truth is, we in this part of the world, we love recrimination. If your governors ban open grazing and empower the people to enforce it, how will anybody bring cows to graze openly? You have cowardly governors who cannot do it. Yet you cannot take them out of power. It is our brothers and our sisters and our uncles and our aunts and our mothers and our fathers and our children who sit down to doctor results and write results. And then when you write results and collect money and this bandit gets into power, you expect a bandit that bought power to do something good for you. Is it not crazy? Look at Abia State. Nenoti stood her ground. Professor, other this is compromised. She looked at herself and said, I will never do this thing. For the sake of my conscience, the sake of my God, the sake of my faith as a Christian, Prophet Nenoti stood her ground and rejected billions of naira offer to do what was right. Did she die? Today she's being celebrated. Can't you do the same thing? You will collect bribe. All of okay, we want good government. Good candidates will come now. All of us will start driving everybody to come and give you money. In other same clans, people contribute money to support good candidates. They go out of their way. In Nigeria, you want me to go and sell my properties to come and give you to be able to serve you. Keep on waiting. May God have mercy on all of us.